So how much would 10,000 police officers cost?
Well, if we recruit the 10,000 police men and women over a 4-year period, we believe it'll be about £300,000.
£300,000?
Sorry,
10,000 police officers? What are you paying them?
No, I mean, sorry.
How much will they cost?
They will cost... it will cost... about £80 million.
About £80 million?
Yeah.
Right. How do you get to that figure? 80 million divided by 10,000 equals 8,000. So, what are these police officers going to be paid?
We will be paying them the average...
Has this been thought through?
Of course it's been thought through. I think we do need to revisit that report because... And we do need
Which part of it?
Well, I just think it's about preparedness and resilience.
But he made some very specific recommendations that haven't been acted on. Do you know what they are?
Well, I know, I mean, he was talking about preparedness and resilience, and I do think that we need to act not necessarily on every specific recommendation.
But you remember the report came out only in October 2016. The mayor, the newly elected mayor, commissioned it. It came out in October 2016, and Lord Toby Harris had some bullet points. You know, that's what I've read through. I mean, what did you make of those? The specifics?
I thought, because I know Toby Harris, he's a very long-standing London
very thorough-blown
politician.
inquiry, I must say, and review.
I thought it was an important review, and I think we should act on it, but obviously working with stakeholders...
But what should we act on? I mean, you know, what do you think of the recommendations about the various police forces in London?
You mean the idea that they should work more closely together?
Well, he suggested they should amalgamate.
Well, I think that's an interesting idea, but I think you'd find resistance in some parts of London to the amalgamation.
Have you actually read the report?
I have.
Okay, what about when you talk about, what about the physical resilience? Again, I'm referring to this because it seemed prescient.
Yes, I mean, I think physical resilience is important. I think that...
But there was a specific aspect of physical resilience.
Well, I think that physical resilience is important.
Yes, well, I mean, but the specific aspect was he talked about putting up more barriers in the light of the Nice attacks. He mentioned that in October 2016.
Yes, it's...
Jeremy Corbyn and John McDonnell's team have been trying to keep you off the airwaves.
No, that's why I'm here this evening.
Well, you said that you book your own appearances, that you don't run them through the leader's office.
No. We work very closely with the press office.
But they regard you, that the two J's regard you as a bit of a liability after your brain fade on police costume.
I'm here. I've just come from doing another media interview. I'm going on to do another media interview. There's no truth in the idea that I'm not in the media, particularly talking about what happened
but you're not,
on London Bridge.
You think you're an asset, clearly, not a liability to the front bench.
I think I'm Shadow Home Secretary, and it'd be very strange if the Shadow Home Secretary wasn't doing interviews like this.
And you think that in 3-4 days' time you will be the Home Secretary?
I think the most important thing is that in 3 or 4 days' time we actually win the general election, and then Jeremy will choose his cabinet.
You said white people love playing divide and rule. We shouldn't play their game. I could never imagine Michael saying that, changing that to saying black people love playing divide and rule.
What happens, yeah.
And what would happen if he said it? You didn't speak in code. That was quite a racist remark, was it not?
No, I don't think it's racist. I think it
was... to say that white people, not some or a few or even many, but white people as a group love playing divide and rule.
I was referring to the history of the British Empire.
But you were contextualising it to the present day, weren't you? I mean, you were contemporising it.
It was referred to. Actually, you're referring to the Stephen Lawrence case, which I think happened long after we had an empire.
No. It was part of It was part of a sequence of debate. It was referring to British Empire, and of course, when you have to put things into 140 characters, you don't often get the nuancing that you should get.
I think one thing that was
what would the nuance be then?
The nuance would be that this is the history of the British Empire.
But you were talking about Stephen Lawrence.
No. No, it was a longer.
You were responding to new evidence that came out on the Stephen Lawrence case, and you said white people love playing divide and rule. We should not play their game. Present tense, not empire, India, the Raj.
140 characters, and that's what I was referring to. Anyone who knows history of the British Empire knows that is exactly how an empire was built.
It's a large figure that Labour has put on that extra 2,000. How much is that, and where would that money come from?
Well, what we've said is we would find the money to recruit the 10,000 police people by cutting the we would find the money because we'd look at capital gains tax. The Tories have cut capital gains tax and we want to restore it. And that would give us, I think, 170... We would find the money by restoring levels of capital gains tax.
And that's an extra...
In justifying your decision, which we talked about before, don't want to dwell on that, to send your son to a private school, you said, quote, West Indian mums will go to the wall for their children. So black mothers love their kids more than white.
Andrew, we've just had, I think, one of the most important budgets in a generation. I've said everything I'm going to say about where I sent my son to school.
No, I'm not. That's what I want to. I don't understand this quote. No. Supposing Michael had said, white mums will go to the wall for their children.
Andrew, I've got nothing new to say.
Why would you say that West Indian mums will go to the wall for their children?
Andrew.
I mean, isn't that a racist remark?
Andrew, I've got nothing new to say. Let's talk about the most important budget in the lifetime.
I'm talking about what you've said. If West Indian mums are as wonderful as you say, why are there so many dysfunctional West Indian families in this country, and so many West Indian young men end up in a life of crime and gangs?
I actually run an awards programme and have done for many years for London's top achieving black children. And actually, Andrew, there's lots of black boys out there working hard and doing extremely well.
Clearly not enough of them for you to send your kid to the local school.
This is going around.
I mean, you didn't want them to go to a school full of kids that had been brought up by West Indian mums.
No, actually, under a Labour government, because this all happened 9 years ago, now, it's in that time, Labour's built 5 new secondary schools in Hackney, and I wouldn't have to make the same decision.
Would you like to make it clear that, in the round, in general, West Indian mums are no better or no worse than white mums and Anglo-Asian mums and so on?
Andrew, I've got nothing more to say.
You don't want to make that clear?
Andrew, I've got nothing more to say.
So you still think West Indian mums
I've got
are the best?
nothing more to say.
OK.